Alright guys, so I got in like this huge fight today with the sound engineer that mixed my album. And like, I don't consider myself a violent person. Prison definitely made me more violent since I've been out. I'm more ego driven than I was before I started doing all the time that I've done. And, you know, I started this album like 3 months ago. And what it is it's like, it's just like the stories that I tell, except it's one long story. The album is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and it covers the period from when I caught the pimping case to my emotional breakdown when I called the FBI and told him that my parole officer was trying to kill me. And I go into like really explicit detail about it. Sound effects, there's skits, and there's guest appearances by Johnny Depp. He's acting as Hunter S. Thompson, which I think is amazing. So I'm a huge Hunter S. Thompson fan. I'm wearing a Gonzo shirt right now. And, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, one of my favorite books, one of my favorite films. And I haven't been friends with Johnny for that long, but just the fact that he was willing to collaborate with me and do a skit on my album is amazing. I mean, it's a testament to where my career has taken me to this point. And I also have Boston George from Blow, Freeway Ricky Ross, two iconic drug dealing legends who, have a lot of history behind them. And I got my Nick Stahl on there, who's one of my best friends, and Tommy Chong, one of the most infamous potheads of all time, and I got Dirt Nasty, also known as Simon Rex. And I'm really happy about the guest appearances. So it's 2 hours and 40 minutes of me telling the story about how I got the film deal, how the documentary started, how I had the breakdown, and all out while I was out on bail and Karina got pregnant. It's a really gnarly story. It's a good story, and it's long, and people are always like, "Oh, I wish the videos were longer." Well, this is like one long 2 hour and 40 minute video, but it's audio. And I started recording it in the beginning of November with plans to have it released on Thanksgiving. And what had happened with it is, I asked Johnny, and I had asked E40 as well, and I never got the guest appearance from E40, but I was supposed to. But when Johnny told me that he was willing to do a guest appearance, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna wait for whenever he has time to do the recording, I'm gonna put it on there. Then Paul passed away right around that time, and I just fell into this like really fucked up, foggy depression, where I was, I like couldn't do anything. I was like, it was debilitating. I was catatonic. All I wanted to do was read books and lay in bed all day, and I just didn't have drive to do anything. And then right around that time, Johnny went radio silent on me. He's like on an island right now, and he didn't have Wi-Fi, and we had technological issues, and I didn't hear from him for weeks. And it was during the time that I was going through the depression anyway. But then he finally hit me up, and he's like, "Hey man, I did it. I got you." And I was like really like that. By far, that's the guest appearance I'm the most stoked about. Just to hear Johnny do Hunter S. Thompson's character again is amazing. And then Paul Harper, my friend who had passed away, he wanted to be on the album, and he had recorded a segment. And when you hear it, it can definitely be misconstrued as he's glorifying drugs or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that's just the kind of humor that we had, and I was very ambivalent, conflicted about including it. I didn't want to offend his family. That's another thing that had held it up. So it's just a confluence of factors that had, slowed down and hindered the release of the album. So anyway, fast forward now, it's the first week of January. I wanted to release it on Christmas, and then, getting Paul on there and having to like add that in, that held things up for a while. Then I wanted it out on New Year's, and the sound engineer was like, "Ooh, I don't work on holidays." This dude is a little bitch, right? And I already prepaid him for it. It was expensive to put this together, to get him to mix it. And so I was like, okay. So I was like working on his time. So he finally gives me a cut last night. And I get the cut, and it's, you know, my part of it, the content, I'm very happy with. The way that he mixed it, you know, I wanted some things modified. And he was just being really difficult. We got in this huge argument about it today, and it ended with me calling him a bitch and him being like, "Don't contact me again." Ooh. So I have one large MP3 file, and that's what the album is. And we're going to be putting it on CD. We're also going to be putting it on vinyl, and I'm going to be getting it on iTunes and all the different platforms. But I had to figure out a way to, because I know people have been waiting on it. You know, I get personal emails all the time. Where's the album? Where's the album? Including from people that, you know, some of the people that were on the album were asking me when it was coming out. So I found this website. It's called like Payloads or something, and you can upload the file and you can charge money for it. So I did. I finally put it on there. It's $10. Drug Stories for Truckers, Volume 1. 2 hours and 40 minutes. I've listened to it multiple times. It's a quality album. I'm happy with it, especially with the skits, and especially with Johnny Depp's part. I'm so stoked that he was willing to do that. You know, he like resurrected the ghost of Raoul Duke in the name of Gonzo, and you know, that's one thing that him and I really connected on when I first met him, is just our mutual affinity towards Hunter S. Thompson. So I'm glad that made it on there, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So for right now, just so that I could actually get it out, because I had been postponing it, and trust me, if you're annoyed waiting for it, I was annoyed waiting for it to be released. There were so many complications along the way, but I finally got it uploaded. I'm going to put the link below. It's $10. Please support me and grab the album. You won't be disappointed, and leave in the comments section how you like it. I'm really excited to get some feedback on it. If you guys like the album, then of course there's going to be a Drug Stories for Truckers Volume 2 about my prison term following this, and I'll get a whole nother batch of guest appearances. It's going to be hard to top some of the people I got, but I'll try to make it happen. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to be it's like 12:30. I just got back right now. I was at a recording studio trying to just tweak some minor things before I'd uploaded, but I was like, all right, whatever. This is good. Everyone was telling me it's good. Just get it out there to the world. So, Drug Stories for Truckers, Volume 1. Enjoy. Palabra.